In the darkest years of the Soviet Union, there was a place that didn't exist on any map. No address, no official records, no name. The men who were taken there were never officially reported missing. Their families were told they died in battle. Their names were erased from military records, but they didn't die in battle. They were taken to secret laboratories where Soviet scientists, working under direct orders from Joseph Stalin, performed experiments on living human beings that the world would not learn about for 50 years. This is the story they buried deepest of all. To understand what happened, you need to understand Joseph Stalin. Stalin ruled the Soviet Union from 1924 until his death in 1953. In that time, he oversaw the deaths of an estimated 20 million people. Through executions, forced labor camps, and deliberate starvation, he was a man who trusted no one, feared everyone, and believed that science could give him absolute power. Stalin had a vision, a perfect Soviet soldier, a soldier who felt no pain, no fear, no mercy, a soldier who could fight longer, harder, and more brutally than any enemy, and he was willing to do anything to create one. In the late 1930s, Stalin gave secret orders to the NKVD, his brutal secret police, to begin a program unlike anything the world had ever seen. It had no official name. Internally, some called it the Special Experiments Division. Its purpose was simple: use human subjects to test the limits of the human body and push far beyond them. The most documented of Stalin's secret programs was a facility known only as Laboratory 1, or, as those who knew of its existence called it, the Chamber. It was located inside the Lubyanka, the headquarters of the Soviet secret police in Moscow. Hidden floors, hidden rooms, hidden horrors. The chamber was run by a man named Grigory Marinovsky, a Soviet scientist who had dedicated his life to one question: what is the most efficient way to kill a human being without leaving any trace? Marinovsky tested poisons, dozens of them, on living prisoners. The subjects were brought from Soviet prisons and labor camps. They were told they were receiving medical treatment. Some were political prisoners. Some were foreign spies. Some were simply people who had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Marinovsky documented everything, detailed notes on how each poison worked, how long it took, what the symptoms were, whether the subject suffered. He tested mustard gas on prisoners. He injected them with ricin, with digitoxin, with substances that had no name, chemicals he had invented himself. His goal was to find a poison that was completely undetectable in an autopsy. That killed quickly. That left no trace. He found several. Those poisons were then used by Soviet agents to assassinate enemies of Stalin around the world. They went a program that continued for decades. Marinovsky himself later boasted that he had personally killed no fewer than 150 people in his laboratory. He received the Order of the Red Star, one of the Soviet Union's highest military honors, for his work. But the chamber was only the beginning. As World War II approached, Stalin's obsession shifted. He didn't just want better assassins, he wanted better soldiers. Soviet military scientists began a series of experiments designed to test the absolute limits of human endurance. Sleep deprivation experiments. Subjects were kept awake for days, sometimes weeks, while scientists monitored what happened to their minds. Cold endurance experiments. Prisoners were submerged in ice water for hours, left outside in freezing temperatures without clothing. Scientists carefully recorded at what point the human body gave up. Starvation experiments. How long could a soldier survive without food, without water? How did extreme hunger affect combat performance? Pain threshold experiments. How much pain could a human being endure before they broke? Before they gave up information? Before they died? The subjects had no choice, no voice, no names, only numbers in laboratory logs. But the most disturbing experiments were the ones designed to test something else entirely. Stalin had heard rumors, some said obsessions, about creating soldiers who felt nothing. No conscience, no hesitation, no human feeling. Soviet psychologists worked alongside NKVD officers to run experiments in psychological breaking, isolation, sensory deprivation, systematic psychological destruction. They wanted to understand, could a human being be rebuilt from scratch? Could a soldier be programmed like a machine to obey without question and kill without hesitation? The results of these experiments were classified at the highest level. Most were never fully declassified, but fragments have emerged over the decades in testimonies from survivors of the Soviet system, in partial documents that escaped destruction, in the accounts of former NKVD officers who spoke before they died. What T. de